Today's episode is brought to you by the Tax Defense Group. Due to the global pandemic, the deadline to file your taxes for 2019 was pushed back to July 15, 2020. If you haven't filed for 19 yet, there's good news. The Tax Defense Group can e-file your taxes for you. The process is quick, and for millions of people, you'll get money back. Call the Tax Defense Group today at 800-850-7973 to get started. That number again is 800-850-7973, and you can visit them online at thetaxdefensegroup.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Writer Junkie. Are you thinking about starting a business or a side hustle? Writer Junkie offers website development, content writing, and SEO services for businesses. Call Writer Junkie today at 805-587-7966, and you can visit them online at writerjunkie.com. Hi, welcome to the Talk Spot. This is Marcus, and today I'm joined by Jimmy McMillan with the Rent is Too Damn High party. Jimmy, thank you for coming on.
Fantastic.
How was your 4th of July?
Well, what I do briefly as a founder of a political party, I'm a private investigator.
Okay.
I look to help this country out from being an Army veteran. And I've always been able to do that. And that's the kind of work I do. I go against whatever is said. I don't let anything stop me from reaching my goal of I can get to the truth.
Oh.
My next research, Black Lives Matter. My biggest research, people talking about Black Lives Matter and they don't even know what it means. And I get on the education system of the word Black Lives Matter. I was following National Geographic's around in 2007 or 6, and they made a startling discovery that will open my eyes, and I know people didn't understand it. They would talk about it, they would shake their head like they know, and they don't know a damn thing. Black Lives Matter, to me, is scientific. Because the National Geographic followed the DNA from Homo sapien. Are you familiar with Homo sapien?
Yeah.
National Geographic followed the DNA from Homo sapien and learned that the mitochondria in every woman on the planet comes from Africa, Tanzania. So Dr. Spencer Wells even went on the Today Show with Al Roker, Katie Couric, and Matt Lauer, and another lady, and they were shocked to find out that they originated in Africa. For the woman, the mitochondria. Now, for the man, the Y chromosome, ironically, National Geographic pinpointed it down. It came from the same place in Tanzania from a male in Africa. So, meaning, we all are African. And by me saying that, is people are protesting a unique name that has great meaning. They don't even understand why they all come together when George Floyd was murdered. They don't realize how connected they are. But they're using Black Lives Matter, they don't know the true definition of it. So I said it's time for me to put my wheels in motion. And I'm a smart guy. I went online. I was looking at the definition of a lot of things. They have definition for things out there they don't even know the meaning of. So we have a problem with being uneducated is what we have right now. Being uneducated to fight, to love one another. But one thing for sure, someone would say we're against brutality. I don't know about all that, but I'm saying I'm just tired of my people being murdered.
Yeah.
And the question is, why are they being murdered by police? Because the police department, and especially in the southern state, I was saying that before I had seen the protests of George Floyd. I didn't know what's going on in London, Australia, and all the places where slavery exists. Until the people joined together and went to the street. And I said, whoa, something. I knew that my research on the Y chromosome and the mitochondria in every woman, they're all connected. Black and whites are fighting against each other and their family. And they don't even know it. Who is going to tell the truth about who they are? No one knows. You can't count on CNN. I turned and watched CNN talking about a young man, talking to a young man, doing an interview on him. CNN should know what I know, but they're giving false information to the people talking about they don't know what Black Lives Matter is and talking about it means socialism and all this other stuff and Marxism. They're putting all these things in front of it with all that is false information they're giving out. So I thought it was important that I step out of my smart skull as a private investigator. Not just talk, it's a stone facts. Now the police department, they are brutal, using brutality against the people. How did that come about? Well, let's be for black brothers. Their fathers were police officers, and they passed the job down to them without them taking the test. And so they speaking to their children about what they did, how they did it. Now that they're grown, they're doing the same thing. Well, okay, so Mr. McMillan, are you for Black Lives Matter? I'm for teachers in high school and colleges. They don't need to teach our children. They're supposed to know what I know. Take a different approach when somebody starts talking about racial differences. As long as you conversate that you don't know about, it's going to keep existing. Unless this conversation hit the educational system and start with the children that they target the kids. New York City, there's a lot of shootings and a lot of killings. They don't know why. These black children are seeing on their necks and hearing about the hangings and hearing about every picture they show of a little black girl in Brazil, Berlin. They had a black zoo for black kids, and when you show the little kids, it's driving these kids crazy. They don't know. The white officers don't know how to deal with it, but they are the ones who have these good high-paying jobs and feeding nothing. Oh, we're gonna do something about it. We're gonna solve this problem. And the word is, oh no, you're not. You're only making the problem greater because you don't know how to solve it and you don't know what you're talking about. We have a pandemic right now, coronavirus. We don't feel anything about the coronavirus because it was here once before. It was upon us. When we were chained to a ship, we was chained on a boat. We was coming to America as slaves. We don't care nothing about that. Nothing at all. They're talking about the killings that are going on in the streets of New York. My brother killed my brother, then you killed my brother. This is the way our children feel. They don't talk about it. You got a lot of older black people, like the NAACP, groups like the pastors of the church and the black church. They're just making it worse for the black kids who are really struggling to be for who they are. When they see that a police officer could get away with strangling you, that's because no one in the black community has taken the time to write a law like Emancipation Proclamation. Speaking of the Emancipation Proclamation, slavery was abolished, but the United States government forgot one thing. The United States government forgot to give the proper paperwork out to protect these slaves who have been beaten, who have been shot, who have been whipped, who have been hung the same way George Floyd is today. The paperwork was never written to prevent this. We were sold on Wall Street as stock. We were sold. We should be classified as an endangered species. We should be classified as a landmark. We have to have that. If you shoot and kill property of the United States government, we're a special kind of people. Because we were the only ones held in captivity as slaves and sold in the U.S. Stock Exchange. Being said that it's sold in the U.S. Stock Exchange, if you kill property that was once owned by the United States government, you should not be tried by a district attorney in any state because the police officer knows the district attorney. That should be you should be tried in federal court where you belong. So there's a misunderstanding that we're not getting help. Well, how come Martin Luther King didn't think of this? And a lot of other people. We took a beating all our lives, too. And they're just not thinking. And now that they're not thinking, they got the ignorance going through the children's head because they don't know what to tell them because they don't know it. So they tell them anything. They're talking about the white man so much. Why are you talking about the white man so much? You have a chance, NAACP, a group who claim supporting the blacks, and they lied to them. The NAACP is a political organization. They support the Democratic Party. You with me? And they proclaim to everyone that the Republican Party is not. And that's a lie. So I created Rent Too Damn High Party because I uncovered something that is yet to come out in the conversation when it comes to housing, the Fair Housing Act. Am I talking too much?
No, I was actually going to ask you about the Rent is Too Damn High Party, and that I feel like when it comes to rents, it's like, I mean, the government, obviously there's, government assisted housing, and, a lot of people know about that, HUD, Section 8. But I mean, there's a lot of people that don't really qualify for that. I mean, a lot of, working people, and, I live right outside of Los Angeles, so where I live, the rent is really high. Your area, the rent is really high. And, of course, mortgages are also really high. And you kind of have a situation now, especially for younger people and, elderly people where, they don't really have the kind of income to really pay for like a good living situation. And I feel like, yeah, it's kind of something that's not really talked about is, especially in the political climate that we have, or at least between the two major parties, is, that's like a really big issue. Like that's like everyday issues where people face. And, every campaign, there might be one or two little bones thrown out for people saying, oh, yeah, we got to make things, more affordable for people, or we have to help out the working class people. But, nothing ever happens.
Well, that's all talk, because this was before slavery came along. They're making up it's a Fair Housing Act that's not being respected and not supposed to be respected. The Fair Housing Act was put into place for one reason, for one purpose, but they're using another reason to keep it from being really fair housing. Those who are involved in charge of fair housing don't like my complexion. They don't want me in there. I just finished an undercover investigation that took 12 years. 2006, three landlords purchased property in New York City from Israel. When they purchased the property in 2006, they locked me out. Me, my family, my wife, and I'm a disabled vet. They locked us out. I couldn't get in, so they went back to court 2 months later and filed a non-primary resident, filed a false claim with the court. My job was to find out why they do this if something is wrong. I had to get to the bottom of it. But when I got to the bottom of it, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. The judge was involved. The law firm was involved. It's all about eradicating people like myself from having an opportunity to live good and live well. On March 19th of 2019, from 2006 to 2019, 2016, the judge ordered them to give me a key to the apartment that I had been renting for all that time, a key I never had. So they proclaimed I had non-primary residence because they had working with the judge, and the judge had agreed with them. But in this last case, I applied for Article 81, and the judge ordered them to give me a lease. I had not had a lease in all those years. Judges, I was about to take them to court and file for discrimination and pain and suffering. The pandemic hit, coronavirus hit. So I'm just waiting until the smoke clears. All of this, people from Europe, when you see the flood of people protesting about police brutality and talk about how they were discriminated against in Europe, I was shocked. I never knew that was going on over there. But it unraveled a puzzle in my head, because now it explains why the Europeans are coming here. I never knew they didn't like me. I never knew this was going on. Now the puzzle has come together. They're buying up real estate in New York, and they're not renting to black and brown people. So we have a problem that I'm going to file papers in federal court and get to the bottom of this through a lawsuit. And they also have a whistleblower lawsuit that I can put in too. So I got to figure out which one I want to do. All of this you hear, I have to ask you, what's your nationality?
Oh, for mine? I'm European descent. I'm like Irish and English and like kind of stuff like that.
Okay, I had to ask you that, so I want to make sure that you understand it. The people in those areas don't even have a clue of how we are being deprived of living a life. They would tell you one thing if you're not an official, but when in reality they're doing another. They want to eradicate people like myself off this planet. When I've seen all those white kids in Europe protesting against George Floyd, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, whoa, somebody's not telling me the truth. And that's these fake black leaders got young men and women on the Black Lives Movement they're coming behind them, making them think they're with them, and they're not. They're being stabbed by their own people. So all of this that we're talking about now when it comes to fair housing, it all was developed out of somebody got greedy when it comes to slavery. Because to have a slave, you had a lot of things going on. and they wanted to be in it. They got in it. So right now we're in recovery mode. We thought the country was doing good when Barack Obama became president. He didn't know. There was no fiscal cliff, there was no deficit, and there was no sequester. Because he didn't know how to count. He brought in a health care bill that cost the people that he claimed he loved so much he was a part of. It put them in more financial help. He gave $50 billion to every banking corporation to bail them out. And while he was doing that, we was having a housing problem that needed some adjustment. He couldn't help with those adjustments. I became a celebrity because of the things they don't know about housing. I know. The things they can't do, I know how to do it. But not one of them has called me one time, because it's no longer about me. It's no longer about you. It's about the Democrat and Republican Party.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you raise a really good question. And, that's one thing I wanted to bring up with you, too, is the idea of, this virus. And I know for a lot of people right now, they're getting this $600 a week thing if they're unemployed or they're on unemployment. And I feel like in certain ways, what's happened during this pandemic, especially when it comes to like housing and the economy for a lot of individual people, is it's kind of artificial. Like, it's not real. I mean, once that $600 a week thing disappears, or once landlords, are able to kick out people for not paying rent, I mean, I think we're really in for some like really hard times ahead for a lot of people, especially in bigger cities with more expensive rents and cost of living. I mean, people are really going to be struggling. And I haven't heard anybody even talk about this idea that, 5 months from now, people aren't going to have the $600 a week extra money. And, what are they going to do? I mean, if they have an apartment in, New York City, let's say, and they're, I don't know, it's a 2-bedroom apartment, it's $2,800 or whatever it might be, or $3,000. I mean, how are these people going to pay for it? Let's say if it's a couple and, the husband lost his job, or the wife lost her job, or the hours have been cut.
Wait a minute. Let me jump in for a minute. Jumped in my swimming pool now.
Yeah.
This coronavirus, or the COVID-19, you can't raise. The federal government has to get a hold of this and take over, because you're going to raise somebody's rent who's not employed, who you told to stay home and stay off the streets and don't go in, don't go out. Now they lost their job, but they're not working. They got bills and rent to pay. The group like Black Lives Matter, I hope they would get involved in this and raise all the hell, because this is something the government's supposed to take over from here. Because you don't supposed to let the people go through what they're going through. You might be able to help some of the people, but you can't help all the people. But when it comes to housing and living, all the government has to do is say no rent. They gotta find a way. They gotta find a way to do it.
Well, the
this
thing is,
their job as elected officials.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a really good point that you raised, because it's like, all of the arguments that we've ever had in the past about, well, why don't we have this? It's because of money. They say, why don't we have universal health care? Well, it's because of money. Or why don't we do student loan forgiveness? And they say, oh, well, it would cost $1 trillion, or whatever, it would cost $2 trillion. But the thing is now is that we already passed one spending bill over $2 trillion. There's talks of a new spending bill for $3 trillion. I mean, if we're printing, or we're going to give out $5 trillion over the course of 6 months because of this virus, why not put more money into people's pockets? Like, why not, like what you're saying, like, why give the airline industry $100 billion and give this industry $300 billion? Why don't we take that money and help people that, gotta pay their bills? I mean, I think it's ridiculous that even with the virus right now, that like people are being billed for time in the hospital. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the stories where there's people that have been in the hospital for, a month because they had the virus, and then they get a hospital bill for $1 million.
They're gonna need it. They're gonna need it if they get sick further down the road, and then they don't have any place to stay. These are gonna drop dead in the street. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you know that I ran for president in 2012?
I didn't know you ran for president in 2012. I knew you ran for governor in 2010 of New York.
Yeah, I'm pretty big.
Oh yeah.
To the press.
No, I mean,
there's a lot of things that I know as a Vietnam veteran. My job, I lost a lot of brothers in the military. How to correct problems that exist, and how to correct those problems so people can live comfortable. That's what I were trained to do in Vietnam. We went through shacks and we killed everybody in the shack. The women had to eat, children crying, anything. You still had to take care of those who are living with the training that was given. When I come out of Vietnam, I brought that training with me, with the love and understanding that I was fighting and killing these people, but I still had to protect their life. And so this is what I'm bringing with me from experience, and know how to treat hurt, ailing people. All these people that we're talking about now, they was never slaves. I'm not an immigrant. My people are not immigrants. But what they're trying to do now is push it aside as though we are immigrants and want us to forget who we are and how we serve. It can't be forgotten. We're in every textbook. We were slaves. My family was slaves for this great country. We don't even talk about, because we know the conversation will instantly change. That we were talking about George Floyd on the funeral day. They don't even talk about it no more. But because the election is right around the corner. In Vietnam, some Ku Klux Klan son from Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama was a part of my team. If you were to be a Kong and you got near me, they would blast you away. You don't think like that at the time of fighting together. For me, it was I'm living a day because they helped save my life. Some things you won't hear me talk about. You will hear me talk about putting things together to help everybody. So how do you do? When you talk about stuff like hanging up, choking of George Floyd, when you got the children listening to that, that's dangerous. You have to be an adult to keep that kind of conversation away from the children. Or the parents tell the children go to the next room. The kids don't need to know everything. I didn't know all of this stuff when I was coming up. My mother and my father when the Ku Klux Klan would come and burn the cross in front of the yard. My mother and father, I got mad one time. I remember the little boy, and my mother slapped the shit out of me because she told me that's grown folk stuff. But that's how I was raised. But this country can be straightened out. Democrat, Republican Party talking about Trump because they want you to vote for them. The Democratic Party controlled the Congress for 40 years. 40 years. I was born in 1946. Slavery ended in 1942. And by slavery ending, when I was born, I was basically just coming out of slavery. I was born, it was crazy. I had no life. There's no sense in me talking about it because I'm 73 now. No sense. Well, my job is now to help young men like yourself. Want to be able to tell you to raise a family. But what happens if your girlfriend get pregnant and the child has COVID-19? What happens 10 years from now? You come down with the virus of COVID-19. You're not protected. They want to tell you got to get some health insurance. They want to make you pay for it. And my job as an undercover investigator and a private investigator to bring this to the light, just like you brought it up a moment ago. These are the things they're not talking about. There are serious conversations that has to come up before they talk about all this other stuff, and they're not doing it. Right now, the only thing that they're talking about is yesterday there was an election. They're not giving a damn about anything else. How did we get elected? And that's something we need to straighten out.
Well, do you think that for the Republicans and the Democrat Party, do you feel like both parties are basically just controlled by mega corporations? I mean, I feel like in a lot of ways, it's just kind of a big show. I feel like it's a big show where Republicans say this, Democrats say that. But at the end of the day, you have these mega corporations, they're getting bigger and bigger. It's getting harder and harder for normal people to live lives and pay their bills and raise a family and all that stuff. And I just feel like they're also the ones that are kind of even dividing normal people even more so against each other. I mean, they're the ones, it seems like they have an invested interest. And, you look at...
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say...
They did it right before your eyes. But you young kids wasn't taught. Y'all were taught to be blind and talk about something else. $50 billion Barack Obama gave out. Goldman Sachs got $50 billion of that money. With $50 billion of that money, Goldman Sachs took $8 billion and bought a taxi fleet called Uber. Uber was supposed to be a public fleet. They took that money and they just burned it and spent it. All that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they took that money and they burned it and spent it. And when they realized that the money was gone and they couldn't help the people they wanted to help, who did they put it on? They put it on Donald Trump. Then they started talking about Trump raising this and raising that. I just say that because you can't argue with people over by when they think they know. You keep your mouth shut. When you know the truth, there was no sequester, there was no fiscal cliff, and there was no deficit. All of these things that I just mentioned was man-made because the Democratic Party wanted more power than the Republican Party, and vice versa. When the Republican Party got Donald Trump, on my standpoint, when it comes to the money, because I know how the Democratic Party misused the money and made all us believe, I think Trump is doing a wonderful job when it comes to spending. There's a lot of things Trump needs to learn. He needs to learn from watching Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Fair Housing Act. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act in 1964. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voter Rights Act. Lyndon B. Johnson called people like myself a whole lot of names. Okay, Lyndon, what you gonna do today? Well, I gotta go in here and sign this nigger bill. Donald Trump talk about the immigrant, and people are bashing him. But what I'm saying, no matter what he said about me and my people, he had Martin Luther King there, knew he was like that. But Martin Luther King was able to get those bills signed to help the people. If you can understand why I said that, right now we as a black community, a Homo sapiens community, we don't have anyone to get involved and overlook the rhetoric he's talking to get something done. And that's something we have became more of a gossip kind of a animal than anything. We gossip more than anything in the world. We need to straighten ourselves out. Stop talking about people. Focus on, I hope that everybody can have the conversation we're having now about low-income housing. And in New York, they have brand new buildings they're putting up for low-income housing. That's to tell you that, to make you believe $1,300 a month for the first year or the second year. After that year is up, your rent will be jacked up. An example of what they're going to do has already been displayed. They are moving in groups from Israel, has already taken up half of Brooklyn, coming from Israel, and they don't want you to talk about them. Israeli radio stations and television stations barred me from television and radio. That's why I ran for governor. To let them know you're messing with the wrong guy. I know what you're doing. I know the Union of Orthodox Rabbis stood up and said in 1990 there were 3 groups in New York that wasn't practicing Israel, Judaism at all. And when they said that, New York Times went after them. There was a big fight against the Jewish group. I was back and watched, but as I was taking notes, and I'm glad I'm here today. I know how the fight got started. I know what these homes, what the low-income homes are being built for. I know who they're being built for. We have Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Manhattan, and Queens. You may find a resemblance of what I'm saying in your state. In those boroughs, they would prefer Manhattan to be for the Israelis that coming from Israel. They love to have that area of Brooklyn and preserve that area for them, and the people don't even know it. And I don't even want to talk about it because things change. On March 13th, when the president called for a national emergency, America changed forever and for good. Now I don't have to talk about what the intent of the Israelis are. I can talk about the suffering the people will endure in the months and years to come for this Pandora from the COVID-19 coronavirus. At least I had a chance to learn something, but it don't mean nothing now because this coronavirus is going to get you one way or the other.
I mean, I think it was a really interesting point with that idea too. That I think a lot of people, they might not realize the fact that, especially after the last economic downturn happened 10 years ago or 12 years ago now, is that there's a lot of foreign money that goes into like bigger metropolitan areas, and in LA, that was a big thing that happened after the the Great Recession. Was during that time there was a lot of foreign money from Asia that came in, and they were buying up business lots, they were buying up a bunch of homes, apartment complexes, and it just kind of makes you wonder with America as a country itself, is that is America really a country anymore? Or is it just like a corporation where, we're welcoming, money from all over the world, and kind of if you have money, you have power, you have the ability to do stuff. And basically for everybody else, unless you have millions of dollars, you're kind of just chopped liver.
What destroyed America was getting involved in slavery. Because once you freed these people, they don't have nothing. America gave the Europeans and the Americans, they gave them homes, they gave them land, they gave them farms. They gave my people nothing. They looked good, mustard on your own. All of this was good for the getting involved. They got greedy. It's a good example of what not to do and how to spend when you get there, because the people that you once owned, you can't beat them no more. You can't choke them and kill them no more. Black people are getting shot, slaves who are still living are getting shot in the heads, back, all over the world. That those slavery never ended. It has to come to an end. It's why I applaud the Black Lives Movement for opening this can of worms and waking the country up to a crisis. It started over greed. It has to end. There's a lot of fighting we got to do, but we're in such a big mess now. I haven't had a chance to sit back and think about how we're going to get the country together, because this is deadly and it's serious. People are dying. What the coronavirus do? It attack your heart most. When you lay down to sleep at night and your heart stops, it may not kick back. That's how serious this is. If you own a home and you're renting an apartment complex and you rent, you drop dead. Who's going to take over that property? Of course, your family has been in a corporation, LLC, and like that. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed. The world has changed since COVID, the coronavirus. Some of the things that I probably wanted to say and talk about, there's no need now. We were talking to the walking dead.
Yeah.
That you were concerned about before we started talking, when we first started talking about low-income housing. That's not an issue anymore. Because I want to hear on August 20th, New York State Governor is supposed to talk about rent-stabilized apartments. And I hope that every young man and woman across the world is listening to see how New York handled it. Because we have a young man called Governor Andrew Cuomo. He's doing a remarkable job of explaining it. We have another man who's the mayor of the city of New York, screwing it all up because he don't know how to talk.
Well, that's
he don't know how to pay attention.
I wanted to ask you about Mayor de Blasio. What do you think about him as a mayor?
He don't know what he's doing. He needs to shut up.
He certainly
he just ran for president.
Yeah.
He just ran for president. He ran for president of the United States and wouldn't nobody support him. He needs to shut up. Right now, this is no time to. When it comes to the police department, the protest was about police brutality. The governor told him if he did not change something around to make it work for the people, then he wouldn't give any more state funds to the city of New York. So he turned in a budget Friday, the most disgusting budget I've ever seen in my life. You know how Washington D.C. they passed money here, passed money there?
Yeah.
That's all he did. He did nothing what the governor asked him to do. But he's not ready. He want to bring his wife with him. I guess he want everybody to vote for her. Right now, he's the it's funny. It's funny what he's doing because everybody noticed it. We all know he got a black wife. He wanted his wife to be mayor, run for mayor, borough president.
Oh, really? That's his. So he wants his wife to run for mayor after he's done? I didn't know that.
Borough president, and it's just talk floating around.
Wow.
Borough president is Eric Adams. He's borough president of Brooklyn, New York, former police officer. What the hell do people look like hiring you? Black people are hurting black people. That's why I was surprised to see all these white kids. But because I understand the research with National Geographic and the mighty country, and that we all are from Africa, I can understand what effect it had on these kids about it, because they recognize, they see us all as family, and that's the way it's supposed to be. There's so much learning. So much learning needs to take place here. I'm retired. Wait a minute, you gotta hear this.
Yeah.
I'm retired from the post office. I used to be a letter carrier. Most of my letter carrier clerks were Jewish people. We used to hang out all the time. When they heard that, they would call me anti-Semitic. You my Jewish buddies say things the Jews not supposed to say. Get the fuck out of here! You can't hear it. Yeah, man, they don't get it. But they don't know you. I don't say nothing. Sometimes it's better off keeping your mouth shut. Well, I'm gonna end this bet. You probably hear my voice fading away. I don't know what I'm gonna do when it comes to the next political year. If I have the energy to run, try to figure out why my voice fading away. I was hurt in Vietnam. So I can find out why my voice.
So you might run again? You think for office, maybe like city council or governor again, or even mayor? Would you do it?
Well, it has to be mayor.
Okay.
I ran for city council to find out one thing. In New York, Puerto Ricans vote for Puerto Ricans, black vote for black. And if you're a Democrat or Republican, if you're a Democrat, everybody vote Democratic. I refuse to be a part of that because everybody heard. Let me tell you when my phone is going to ring off the hook. I'm going to file papers in federal court, lawsuits, suing for housing discrimination, which I've already won. I will win that in housing court. I mean in federal court. I don't know because everything has changed. I don't know if I want to waste my time with people. One thing I would love to do. I would love for anybody who has questions, if they see or when I hear a white man come up and say, "White lives matter," I know you don't know who he really truly is. We are species of Homo sapiens, and the scientists has unveiled the truth about all of us. When they say that, when I hear the school teachers and the college professors say white lives matter, they don't need to be teaching these kids. But black lives, we don't know for sure what no, I can't say that because Dr. Spencer Wells, I'm going to send it to you through email so you can see his research. Okay. Dr. Spencer Wells had discovered through DNA what complexions 200,000 years ago we all were before we walked out of Africa. And if you were light-skinned, you were dark-skinned. In the sun every day when you walked out of Africa 200,000 years ago. If you believe that DNA can set a prisoner free from prison, you have to believe the DNA is accurate. much I believe it. I'm more happy. I learned, and I taught myself from paying attention because I'm concerned about helping this country get straightened out. I don't care nothing about the Ku Klux Klan. I don't care nothing about Hitler because I was fighting Vietcong in Vietnam. That's the group that Hitler supported. They never told us. They never told us anything. But I just want to, right now, people to help the people live on. We're in a new world. A new world because of the coronavirus. I want to help people overcome it. Give them educated state of mind so they can get married. There is no education out there for the children now. Someone's going to have to teach them right. In a few more weeks, I'll say after August 20, my phone is going to be ringing off the hook. Because they're going to need me.
Yeah.
And I know they are. The lawyers can't help you. Because there's something lawyers, once I process the papers in court, which means everything about slaves being recognized as a landmark decision and trademark, because we were the only people sold on Wall Street. Humans sold, and that means a lot. It may not sound like it's going to be much now, but I'm going to make it a big deal when I finish with my lawsuit to help make the world a better place.
Well, definitely. When that happens, yeah, let me know how that unfolds. And I think you're totally right. I mean, everybody. I mean, we're all relatives. I mean, if you believe the Bible, then we're all brothers. We're all sisters. And even if you don't, we're all part of the same family and everything. And I think right now the issues that the country faces, I mean, they're tremendous. And right now there's a lot of people, like we've already talked about, that are really going to be hurting financially going forward. And there definitely there needs to be bold leadership at every level, the presidential level, but even the city council and the mayor and school boards and teachers and everybody. I mean, everyone's got to do their part, and there's a lot of work to be done. And I'd love to hear what ends up happening with the lawsuit. And yeah, Jimmy, I remember when you ran for governor, and I remember seeing the videos and the songify things and everything. And I thought it was bold. I thought what you did was really bold in the fact that, you're talking about real issues, like everyone wants to talk about. Sorry.
I got smart. You have to learn how to change the conversation. And don't conversate on their level because they want you to hear only what they. And I beat them at their own game. Oh, Mr. McMillan, you raise any money? Nope. The people that I know don't have any money, so how are they going to give me something they don't have?
Yeah.
I had $16.91 in my governor account. When I ran for president, I kept the same amount of money in the presidential account, $16.91. Don't think about it. What's your views? What's your issue? Let your changes, put them in a position for the mouth to drop open when they ask a question by big time media. That's what I did. As a karate expert, I trained it real well. I made sure that every word come out of my mouth was something they didn't understand. And they didn't. It's too damn.
That's a great slogan. I think it's one of the best political slogans of the century.
Change your conversation.
Yeah,
right
totally
now, everybody, everyone, you have to evaluate that. Find something within your conversation that you know is the issue, but nobody's addressing it. You stay on it. You lay on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And don't back off. Somebody will back off and say, no, they'll come up and they'll say, oh, that's not true. That's don't say that. Let them say what they got to say. As soon as they close their mouth, you back at it again.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
That's what I learned to do. And
I like that.
It worked. It worked for me big time. I'm very happy. Barely, I'm happy that young fellas like yourself, you learn it, and I did so much talking since you called. I'm going to sit back for a moment and try to answer some of the questions that you have in mind and ask me briefly for your part.
The main questions that I had, I mean, you pretty much answered them at this point. Like, I mean, I wanted to ask you what you thought of De Blasio and kind of what you thought about the virus and all the response and everything. And yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, these are tough times, and the virus, it really may have changed things. I mean, it may have really impacted the economy for years. And I mean, the people that are, servers at restaurants, or people that, had small businesses that maybe they were independent contractors or whatever it may be. I worry about those people, and I don't know what's going to happen. And I think that, politics, I mean, they, the right and the left, the Republicans and Democrat parties, I mean, they want us all focusing on these issues that divide people, or things that, sometimes don't even really impact our daily lives, instead of talking about the daily life issues of, like something like sales tax when you buy something, or not having a job, or the fact that, like in my area, it's not really affordable for people under the age of, 35 to really buy homes and start a family. And a lot of these people, they're moving out of the area, or they wait till they're in their 40s to get married. And, those are real issues. And I think, politics, the politicians out there in the parties, I mean, they're trying to, it seems like they're trying to do everything in their power to divide people, to keep people angry at each other, for them to not listen to each other. And there's a lot of people really suffering, and I think it's horrible. And I think that it's going to take all of us to change it.
I forgot to plug up in my car. I cut my car over the phone.
Oh, that's no problem, Jimmy. Well, definitely. Well, let's reconnect after the ruling happens to that lawsuit. Let's do an update. Let's send me a text when you have the ruling, and if you wouldn't mind coming back on again, I'd love to have you on.
No, I definitely. Well, the media. I'm doing this in such a way the media going to eat it up, because I'm talking a language they have never heard of, why America is going through this. They're going through, and why the black kids are shooting and killing each other, because we'd rather kill each other than have a white cop to kill them. And so people talk about it. Well, how can y'all talk about violence when the blacks in Chicago killing each other more? That's better than you shooting us in the back, shooting us in the head with our children, our girlfriends, and our family in the car. We'd rather kill each other. We don't care. All we're seeing in our life is death in the hands of the police. They're having this conversation with me. It doesn't bother me. Like when it was real freezing cold, we used to sleep outside in a hole in the ground. There was never no cover for me as a slave. So when George Floyd was crushed his neck so he couldn't breathe and he died, that was nothing new to us. Because the average white cop, they belong to these supremacist group. Getting caught on the highway is what they want. I remember as a little boy, 3 black guys were driving along the highway and they got a flat tire. When my mom went to see him, because we all knew everybody, the clients that cut their heads off.
Oh my gosh.
So see, that's what I'm saying. They're talking about going into the community, talking to the community about blacks killing blacks. You killing us, you as a cop, a white cop, killing us is worse than that. So we don't care anymore. This is what the kids are saying now. Because of coronavirus, they don't care about the coronavirus. They're looking like you come down in their butt line to getting on one knee, trying to but you're not passing no legislation. Now I want you to notice what I just said. I'm gonna make Nancy Pelosi and all of them come to me. They're gonna invite me to Washington D.C. to talk about this, because I'm gonna put it out and let it be known clear. I don't care. I'm a Vietnam veteran talking like this, because you're killing this kid Now these kids are going to go back to school with knowing the fact that the white police officers killing black men, killing black people, shooting kids just like the kids are shooting each other here in New York. You killing us too. I'd rather kill somebody in the black community than to have you killed. That's the way I feel. And I killed a lot of Vietnam vets. You know, not Vietnam vets, but when it comes to a lot of Viet Cong.
Yeah.
But for all the children like yourself, because we're on a podcast, you don't need to hear this conversation and have this conversation. Because America has been real brutal to me. For 10 years, the landlord, the Israeli landlord, wouldn't give me a key. The Israeli landlord was working with a Russian attorney. I slept outside of my house. I was on TV. Every time you turn and see me on TV, I was homeless. I was homeless
Really?
for 10 years. I didn't tell anybody, couldn't tell anybody, because I needed to get to the bottom of this and find out who was it. That's why I'm hesitating on filing a whistleblower and lawsuit too, because the New York State Court was in behind it. New York State judges, the landlord, tenant judges was appointed to the court by the landlord who represents the attorney firm, who represents the landlord. Right now they're talking about Russia. Russia is the Democratic Party, and Russia is the Republican Party. And Russia and Israel were the parties involved in real estate after the World Trade Center attack. Nobody's saying anything, but I got it all and I know it. But I just want to let them know I was homeless for 10 years. Before I couldn't get in my building, I never told Sean Hannity. I know very well. Imus, I know very well. Bill O'Reilly, I know very well. And when you go to those people, when you type in Bill O'Reilly and Jimmy McMillan, I used to be a stripper.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up. I didn't know that.
Well,
Yeah.
I have deformed children exposed to the chemicals of Agent Orange. They wouldn't give me no money to take care of my kids. A black soldier come out of Vietnam, I was just a black soldier. My government turned its back on me. But I didn't let that stop me from living and being who I am. The only time somebody get a chance to know it is when I tell them. When I told Bill O'Reilly was sharp. When I told Sean Hannity, I was sharp. But every time, for 10 years, I was homeless. And nobody never knew it because it wasn't about Jimmy McMillan. It was about finding a way to help educate these people enough so they can raise their family. I serve my country. They talk about some things that I don't agree to. They talk about the Confederate flag. I leave that alone. I'm an American boy. I focus on that. In other words, I'm saying, don't get into someone else's argument because this is what they want. They want to drag you in their argument. If you got the time to drag them into yours, try it. Notice how they box you out. People are selfish. I don't want to hear what you got to say. But for me, having to get to the bottom of my eviction, I was homeless for 10 years. And I found out who was behind it. You can talk about me all you want. But the question is that I caught you. And on March 19th of 2019, when the judge ordered them to give me a lease, they refused to do it. I won the biggest case in the world. If it hadn't been for the coronavirus, March 13th, 2020, I would have went public with it then. But now I got a chance to rest. I'm going to get my paperwork ready for the court, get ready to serve after August. And I'm going to hit them with the biggest lawsuit in the world. I'm going to make a headline for the people because I was a homeless veteran. And that's basically it.
Great.
And I will keep you in touch. All
Yeah,
you got,
keep-
all you have to do is Google those names that I told you. I was on William Williams. I was on Albert. Every show, every TV station you could name, I was there.
You know, before we started talking, I watched your appearance on Wendy Williams' show. I can't believe 2010 was already 10 years ago now. I mean, I think that's crazy, but all right, Jimmy, well, definitely, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your time, and let's talk again after the lawsuit happens, and I wish you the best, and have a great summer.
I'm trying to put a book together. Because this pandemic, the coronavirus hit, I stopped the process of writing a book. But this is a bone-crushing book. What I did, being evicted for 10 years, don't mean nothing to the coronavirus. It's killing people, all the people that lost their life, and dying still. We'll discuss it later. A lot has changed, and so we may have to roll with the flow like Mike Tyson with the punches. Roll with the flow and find something the people need to hear, and we'll talk about it. And we're gonna enlighten their life with stuff they never do. Okay?
All right, well, sounds good, Jimmy. Well, have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later then.
Thank you so much. Thanks for giving me a chance to run my damn mouth.
That's no problem. I'll talk to you later.
We want to thank today's sponsors again, the Tax Defense Group and Writer Junkie. You can contact the Tax Defense Group at 800-850-7973. And Writer Junkie's phone number again was 805-587-7966.